Women's AmeriCup. We're coming to you live from the Centro Deportivo Colectivos, where today two longtime continental rivals with Group A implications on the line will do battle as Canada takes on Argentina.
And just watching the warm-up, Carlin, I'm going to tell you, both teams highly focused, but also loud. A loud warm-up. I mean, I'm pumped up just from listening to them, right? Like, both these teams, I know Argentina probably left their game one loss. It was a 21-point loss. Didn't feel like that to me anyways. They just didn't play their best basketball. They missed a lot of really good shots.
No question.
That's going to happen. They played against a very good Brazil team. Tougher to stop, too, right? So if you're not making shots, it's a tough game. Canada, almost a 70-point win.
Yeah.
And so I'm expecting this to be a tighter game for both sides.
See the standings here on your screen in Group A. As Amy just mentioned, Canada with a big-time win over El Salvador in their first game. We'll get more into that as time goes on. Argentina dropping their first game at the bottom of Group A right now. Mexico we'll see a little later on in Group B action. They were dormant yesterday. Dominican Republic, who had the off day on match day one, got a close, tough victory in the game before this one, squeaking one out by 2 over El Salvador. Well, we'll have the opportunity to meet the Argentinian team as they get announced here to the crowd on hand in Santiago, Chile. And Amy, you mentioned it just yesterday. This team looking to kind of bounce back from that loss to Brazil, a 71-50 defeat. The scoreboard may not have shown it, but there were moments for Argentina where they looked like they might pull themselves back into the game, especially in that third quarter where they were able to outscore Brazil 16-8.
On the night, or on the morning, I forget what time of day it was, but on the day one, they shot under 24% from the field. Really hard to win games like that, right? Like, really hard, especially when you're playing a talented Brazil, offensively talented team. And so right there, they're at a disadvantage. I would say Florencia Chagas, one of their star players, 2 points on the game, 1 for 9. And so she's got to get going a little bit for her squad too. So I thought the effort was there. It did that game, and Carlin, at the beginning of the first quarter, I mean, when I tell you they couldn't make a shot, and they were generating great shots, and so they've got to continue to do that, right? Hopefully they start falling.
They had 45 threes yesterday, did Argentina. That is a AmeriCup record. Let's see if they're able to kind of make some of those shots. Only shot 20% from deep yesterday in their loss. All right, Canada had a fantastic performance, 100-34 victory over El Salvador. The scoreline tells part of the story, but it was really what stood out was the way that they played together and got out in transition.
Complete balance. Every single young woman scored that played, which was the entire team. When you're up that much, you have the luxury. But to your point, this is a new iteration of a senior national team. This is a new head coach in Nell Fortner. 29 assists on 31 made shots. That's just fun. That is fun basketball and a great opening for the Canadians.
Moments away from tip. We'll pause now for the playing of the national anthems.
Mantenemos de pie y con respeto para escuchar el himno nacional de Canadá.
Traditional exchange of gifts happening at center court as we're moments away from tip-off. Second game for these two teams here in Group A. A win for Canada yesterday over El Salvador in dominant fashion. And Argentina looking to bounce back after a loss to Brazil. Many expect Brazil to be the team that leaves here with the gold medal.
Oh, but we show up and play for a reason.
We do indeed.
There are going to be a handful of teams that have something to say about that. And I'm going to put Argentina also in that category because as a competitor, if I'm on Argentina, the way that game went yesterday, right when I was walking out, I turned around and said, I want to run it back and I want to do it right now. Right? That's not a good feeling when you want to get another crack at them. And I think they're going to work incredibly hard to try to make that happen for them.
Three officials that will be in charge of this game: Dominguez, Osorio Vargas, and Guzman Laureano. Three of the best in the Americas. All right, starting five for Argentina. They're trying to bounce back.
Absolutely, and I already mentioned it. Florencia Chagas, keep your eye on her. But number 11, Melissa Gurria, she was incredible yesterday. I love her fire.
And Clemente had 11 points, led the way, wasn't able to really find the touch from the floor. She's expecting to shoot a lot better tonight. There you see Coach Martinez manning the sidelines for Argentina, has been a part of this program since 2020. Starting five for Team Canada. And it is all about the captain, Kayla Alexander, who had double-figure output in their win against El Salvador.
Yeah, they had great balance, though, and so you have to give their bench credit at 55 points from their second line as well. As you get a look at Nell Forner, she's got pretty happy with that Team Canada national debut as a head coach. You were proud of the product that was out on that court yesterday.
Yeah, it was the Team USA head coach from 1998 to 2000, winning the gold medal, 2,000 games in Sydney. And it had been quite some time since she had experienced some FIBA basketball. Did that just yesterday, and what a win, what a re-debut. Allow me to reintroduce myself, and Nell Forner did that just yesterday. Inside a minute to go, countdown to tip-off, presented by Tissot. All right, Amy, keys for the matchup here. Argentina, obviously didn't shoot the ball well yesterday, so that should be the easy answer, right? Make some shots.
Yeah, make some shots. But I would say this, as silly as it sounds, they generated great outside looks. This Canadian squad has some great size. And so I would say you're going to have to, again, just like Brazil, you're going to have to hit some outside shots, especially to try to stretch the defense and clear out the paint for some attack opportunities. But for Argentina, it's just kind of keeping your head down and like remembering that you generated great shots yesterday, have the confidence to knock them. And for Canada, rinse and repeat, my friend. I mean, like I said, everyone contributing. They're running, defending, stops to makes. That really up and down style of pace, but then also they were tremendous on the glass. 66 rebounds yesterday.
Dominant performance. Dominant performance from Canada on the glass, indeed. And by the way, those 66 rebounds, they had 26 of them on the old glass.
And that's why they had 42 second chance points. I love the tough stuff, the miscellaneous stats. Canada, 24 points off turnovers, 30 points in the paint, 42 second chance points, 18 fast break points. That's just complete. That's a fun team basketball.
Well, that was El Salvador. This is Argentina. Much tougher and more experienced squad. Off we go here from Santiago, Chile. Thanks for joining us wherever you are, however you're doing so. Harlan Gay alongside Amy Audibert. And the first attempt there by Egypt gets her own and puts it back in at 12 rebounds yesterday.
And already one offensive rebound on her own. She's so tough around the glass.
Chagas pulls, overshoots it, and Egypt already has 2 boards in this basketball game. Shea Cauley played well yesterday, controlled the tempo, and was able to get her team involved, especially when the offense stalled at points.
And 8 assists. Excellent job facilitating. 8 of those 29.
Dave Wilson at the foul line. Tries to find Hill. Hill did a good job staying in bounds. Egypt will pull and knock it down. So the first 4 points goes to Egypt. It's Egypt 4, Argentina nothing.
Doesn't have the height advantage in that matchup, but I mean, just the composure, the turnaround, saw the space, and high release point for her.
Here's Clemente. Shot poorly from the field yesterday, but did get to double figures. She's only 1 of 9 from 3-point range. Pauly comes up with the theft. Captain Kayla Alexander on the rock. Sammy Hill had to bounce off her hip, and it's going to go out of bounds. No, it's a foul going to be called. So Hill gets bailed out.
Oh, you see,
it's on Hill.
On Hill, little push, but you saw the pace in which Canada's trying to play with Kayla Alexander getting into that handoff action quickly. I thought it was almost a little too fast. There was a bit of a fumble there, but that's the mentality of this team. Go, 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 go. And creating those type of exchanges in transition are incredibly tough to guard.
Gauna, watched by Egypt. Chagas. Duro. Shot clock at 7. Burani battling with Alexander. Another foul called.
No, and that's going to be on Alexander. That's too bad. Shide Wilson did a great job recovering off a tough screen. Kayla Alexander probably go ahead, like, listen, if I'm going to foul in the paint, it's going to be a little tougher than that.
Has been physical here so far through the first game and a few. Burani on the rim run that time. A good find by Grete.
And a smart. Kayla Alexander didn't want to pick up that second foul on the same possession. They attacked her at the rim.
There's Sammy Hill, watched by Grete. Shea Colley. Colley turns the corner using the Alexander screen, got hammered, and she's going to go to the line. As they say, it was in the act.
Shea Colley's such a veteran, too, in herself, right, with her Olympic experience. She's one of the more, I'd say, seasoned players on this team right here for Team Canada, and so they will lean on her as the competition tightens a little bit, especially in that starting guard. You kind of got two players that can play a point guard position out there between Shide Wilson and Shea Colley, and the advantage of that is you don't have to designate one player to run everything and handle the ball. They can do that many different ways.
She was terrific yesterday, as you mentioned. She had the 8 assists, led the way. 29 team assists for Team Canada. Colley now playing in her 101 game for the senior national team. Now defending, got blown by that time, and Chagas with the lay. Colley weaving through traffic, kicks it back out. Egypt looking for Alexander. She skips it this side. It's Hill. Colley says, hey, let's take our time here, slow it down. Burani, and now that's 2 fouls on Alexander. Burani took an elbow to the chin, and an offensive foul is called.
Yeah, Burani did an excellent job of making sure the officials saw it. There was a hit, there was a first exchange that the officials let go, and I thought that drew the attention. And so on the second one, you're gonna see it right there, that extension with the elbow. She got that call, and so, yeah, it's a foul. Is Kayla Alexander saying, I've given him harder than that?
Right.
Yeah, too, right? And so I would understand the frustration I call, but you gotta credit the defense for kind of like saying, hey, watch this to the officials.
Now Canada's depth will be tested as Wallach will check into the game. Chagas tried to find Burani. She's fouled. That is the 14th foul already for Canada. Less than 3 minutes into this game. Next one will put them in the penalty.
I thought Argentina was going to come out with a different type of mindset today because of how it went for them yesterday. They're letting their game do the talking right now, right? Embracing physicality, getting downhill. With the exception of the first couple big rebounds from Egypt, they've kind of smartened up a little bit.
Chagas missing the first attempt from the line. And Flor Chagas, the MVP of the South American Championship right here in Santiago. She had 16 points in that tournament per game. Pretty good defender, just over a steal per contest.
And a couple of rebounds and a couple of assists too. This is completely stocking up the score sheet.
At 28 points in the semifinal win over Venezuela. It was red hot from the field in that one. Colley's three's off the mark. Argentina looking to run with Grete. Transition D by Canada. Chagas in Colley's grill and drills the three.
Use that jab to create some great balance, if that makes sense. Excellent skip pass. Self-created a nice corner jumper there.
Much was made of the three-point shooting attempt or three-point shooting marksmanship lack thereof from Argentina in their loss to Brazil. They shot 9 of 45 for three-point range, 45 attempts, an AmeriCup record. It's good for them to see a couple go down here early. Here's Grete going behind the back, now trying to lead through traffic. Bounce pass, Chagas tried to kiss it off the window, couldn't get it to go. Dave Wilson, who just had the last basket for Canada, gallops up the floor. Now turns the corner, using her speed. Top layup by Dave Wilson. Threw it over the top of her head and found an angle.
And now she's got something to say as well on the way back. Yeah. But I mean, we talk about using your body to protect the ball. I mean, her back was in the defender. You can't block that.
She has the speed to play at this level. The question was coming into this tournament, will she be able to handle physicality? So far, so good. Here's Grete, 5 to shoot. Burani, she can knock this down. Line drive 3 off the mark. Dave Wilson, smallest player on the floor, comes away with it. Dave Wilson will walk into a triple. Indeed.
Hey, Carla, I'm going to do you a favor, and I'm not going to tell her you just said she was the smallest player on the floor. She's doing it everywhere. We hit her. She's hit a mid-range, got to the rim, and now with the 3. A 3-level scorer at her size.
Going up for 3, can't get it to go. Wallach will pull down the rebound. And Wilson kick ahead to Colley. Colley, hesitation dribble, powering her way through. She's fouled.
Now you're starting to see that speed and pace overwhelming Argentina a little bit. And so when you looked at those, a couple early turnovers, fouls for Canada because they were just kind of getting out and running a little bit, you take those because eventually it's going to work out. Of course, Shaya, I think, being the head of the snake right now, orchestrating. Look at this finish.
No look layup.
But also, like, her hands were facing the wrong way. This is why kids at home, when coach tells you to practice different types of finishes, I'm old, so for me it was left on the left side, right on the right side. Now you see a lot of different untraditional finishes, but they tell you that's why, because in a game, you're not always going to use your left on the left.
Right. Colley splitting the free throws at the line. Canada up 6. Dave Wilson digging it defensively, now not into paint. Martinez trying to find the roll in Burani. Colley saying that it touched Burani's leg on the way out. She's even asking for a review potentially, but she's going to sub out of this game.
Argentina cutting hard as they were at the beginning of the game, but now Canada is a bit more present on some of those cuts and get a look at one of the young stars here for Canada, and Silas Wards.
Mongo, and she discontinued her dribble. Another turnover here for Argentina. Already the second turnover here in this first. Dave Wilson. Egypt wants it on the block. They finally get it to her, and the foul is called on Burani. It's going to be a 13 foul here for Argentina.
Egypt is a master at using her body. You see it on the glass all the time, but then even in that position, holding and establishing that post position, she's a pleasure to watch.
No question. And that lower body, being able to sit down.
She's so strong. She's got a bunch of brothers, right? So probably had to learn Carlos and stuff in the driveway.
Yeah, no question. Wallach attacking the rim, couldn't get it to go. And Grete will push the other way. Mongo down the lane, and look at Egypt hustling back to knock it out of bounds.
Yeah, tremendous career at Gonzaga. Really happy to see her flourish in that next step of her playing career, professional, but also the international level.
Averaged 20 and almost 10, 9 rebounds last season for the Bulldogs.
And listen, she's not the biggest player, so it would be easy to walk in the gym and overlook her. But she makes you get your eyes back real quick. It is with how hard she plays, but again, her production, she knows how to use her body on both sides of the court.
Chagas on the inbound, it's a 3, it's off the mark. Dave Wilson with another rebound. Hill pushing. This is Sammy Hill's game, but she's rejected by Mongo.
Watch the hustle here from Mungo. The help, too. That's how you got your teammates back. Eyes on the prize, deflects that out of bounds, and he'll try to get that ball in front of her, but just couldn't get it far enough.
Towards in the lane. Egypt knocks it down. So Egypt started red hot from the field. Up to 6 points and counting. She was 4 of 5 yesterday, 3 of 4 tonight. Grete will walk into a 3. Off the mark. Just can't find a touch here in Santiago, but when it starts to fall for her, how will the offense for Argentina be?
Yeah, I mean, she's got to keep taking those to stretch defense, right? She has to keep the guards up top engaged.
There's Sammy Hill. She'll try a 3. Try to guide it in with her hip. There's going to be a foul called on this side. And that's the 14th foul now for Argentina. With 3:30 remaining in the first quarter, both teams a foul away from the penalty. Burani's second, and that's a tough one to take. So now Alexander on the bench for Canada with 2. Burani on the bench for Argentina with 2. Delaney Gibb into the game and on the ball now at 3 threes in the win against El Salvador. She landed a little late. Might have been on your flight, Amy.
Not the smartest of decisions.
But she got into the game yesterday and did not need any warm-up to start firing.
When you hear South America, it's South America.
It is indeed. Double-digit hour flight. We're still recovering from it. There's Day Wilson crossing over again with a tough layup opportunity, but couldn't get the glass guided home. And Grete will push the other way. Kete, that's a 2, indeed.
That's how the way the Argentina's really, like, it's with the pace, it's in transition, finding those good rhythm shots. That's their style that they want to play with right there.
6-point advantage for the Canadians. There's Day Wilson using the Egypt screen, trying to fire past the Egypt. Bounce off the side of the backboard, somehow Egypt got it back. Day Wilson left wide open for 3, can't get it to fall. And last touch by Argentina will stay here.
With this Canadian lineup out there, not as big as it could be, right? If you're Argentina, this is where you feel like you've got to put some pressure on the rim in terms of the glass. And with Egypt coming out of the game, right now Argentina goes, okay, let's try to get some boards here. Some second chance opportunities, but also defensively.
So Grete, as you see her walking off the floor, will be replaced by Siciliano. Gibb now on the rock. Was stripped there by Mungo. Siciliano kicks. Kete for 3. Can't get it to fall. Gibb finally puts a fork in it. Fights off the defender to find Shea Colvin. Collie, the only starter remaining on the floor right now for Canada. Wallach now weaving through traffic. Wallach spinning in the lane. Kick. Swords for 3. Indeed.
Argentina's upset. I think they may have got away with held the back court. I don't think that ball was deflected and it turns into a 3-point shot, but you still have to complete those possessions.
Siciliano, quick trigger. Maybe too quick. Collie. Back the other way for Canada. Wallach. Off the mark. Flat-footed rebound here by Cabrera. Martinez, Cabrera, excuse me, on the floater that time and able to cash it in. Good quick offense that time for Argentina.
Yeah, they're playing quick, and I'll say, again, the half-court offense, I'm not sure that's the style you want to settle into against a long Canadian team.
Gibb, driving, swords for 3, can't find it. Cabrera with another board. Siciliano. Nice move, but couldn't get the finish. And Collie with the rebound. They're going to call a foul here.
Delaney, Gibb had Cabrera wrapped up. This has been an extremely physical game, and I don't mind, but you can kind of, you get the sense that the players are kind of scrapping away. So now, talk about rebounds. This is your rebounding lineup right now.
No doubt. Shea checking into the game as is Egypt. Here's last play here by Wallach.
Yeah, there's that corner spin, collapsing the defense, and that's not a ball side stunt stay. But as the ball's starting to get kind of entered into the other half, someone's got to drag out to cover a corner shooter, and sometimes that's communication. Very nip and tuck, quick decisions got to happen on the defensive end.
And when you put together a team on the fly, like most of these national team programs coming together really a couple of weeks before we get games going, that's tough to really kind of build that chemistry and understand the communication that's needed to be able to be on a string defensively. 7-point lead for the Canadians, under a minute to go here in this first. Cawley's still the only starter on the floor at the moment. Actually, she's joined by Egypt. Russell now with the rock. Chai waiting down low with 5 to shoot. Cabrera able to move her feet and get in front of Chai and come up with the steal. Kete. Martinez swing this side. Siciliano. 10 to shoot for Argentina. I think they have a mismatch with Mungo. Looking to attack it. Mungo in the lane. The shot put shot does not fall. Shot clock unplugged. As Cawley looking to push to the rim. She's fouled. She'll go to the line for 2.
The Argentina offensively, with going against this lineup, who just packing the paint at the glass. So if you're going to get those point blank in the paint, you got to make them. You're not going to get the second chance opportunity. And if you don't make them, this is what's going to happen right here. You're going to have to be playing transition. You're going to be having to go against a Canadian team that knows how to run wide. They know how to space on the fly. And they've got a very smart guard in Shea Cawley handling the ball.
Cawley playing pro last season in France, averaging 9 points, 2.5 dimes. Struggled to shoot from the field. Over in France, a very tough league is France. Shot clock unplugged. Argentina with an opportunity to get a look at the horn. And Martinez's shot falls short of the mark. That's how we'll end the first 10 minutes of play. Canada in front by 8 after 1.
Compete levels up. Credit the Argentinians to come out with some spunk and fire, but then also the Canadians, who didn't take their nearly 70-point win yesterday and say, cool, let's just have fun, right? Like, they came out understanding it was probably going to be a little bit tougher today. 2 quick early fouls on their leader, Kayla Alexander, but they've rotated in some players that have been productive off the bench.
Some of the best plays from the first period. And started off with a 4-0 run for Egypt.
Look at her. I mean, she just carves out the defense. Smart play. Turn. You're going to give me the jumper. I'm going to knock it down. Anytime you see Argentina getting downhill, at least initiating from trying to get into the paint, good things usually happen. That was a nice skip jab from Chagas. And only had 2 points yesterday. She's already shown a little more production for her team. Shai had a sequence where it was the Shai show, and that's about it. She got it done in the middle, at the rim. Here it is, your finish. Look at the hands.
Unbelievable.
I mean, again, hands. I've never seen that before.
We talked about trying to kind of work on unorthodox layups. You never know when it will come out in a game. And certainly, I don't know if you go to the gym and work on that.
No.
But it came out. Yeah. Scan the QR code on your screen right now to download the Courtside 1891 app. Scores, schedules, and streams. To follow along right here with the FIBA AmeriCup, but also Eurobasket going on right now. The final, in fact, is underway between Belgium and Spain. No spoilers. We want to watch it later, but you can enjoy it on the Courtside 1891 app, your home for FIBA basketball. So Argentina already ahead of where they were yesterday. Only down 8 in this one, but also +8 in terms of what they put up on the board after 10 minutes of play just yesterday. They had 4 points at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, and that I'm not surprised by that. They just did not hit shots yesterday. They're still not shooting great, right? 29.4%, 1 for 7 from long range. It's still not great, but it's better. So that's the most important thing. Cabrera, to me, she's kind of my unsung hero from what I've seen with this Argentina team. Watch her off-ball defense. She's often guarding a bigger player, but she's tough and she plays lanes.
Number 7 in a blue uniform as Argentina with the basketball to start the second quarter. Second game for these two teams. Canada defeating El Salvador in game 1. They sit at the top of Group A. Argentina lost to Brazil yesterday by 21. Brazil now in second place. Point differential matters in these games and these tournaments. Argentina looking to get their first win of the tournament here in 2025. And the aforementioned Cabrera will go to the line for 2 here.
They're taking on that challenge, undersized, but often when you're undersized, that means you've got the first step, you've got a quicker step, and so she attacks that matchup, but also the experience. Let's not forget, she's been with this national team since 2011. And when you've been with a group that long, too, I just think that pride factor, every time you put on that shirt, a little deeper, a little bit more.
In her club season, she averaged 12.3 points per game, 9.4 rebounds. Playing for Alter. She just splits a pair of free throws there. They will sit on the floor with Egypt, Hill, Swords, and Chai. Swords spinning in the lane and able to fall away. Never afraid of going in the forest with the big trees. Siciliano turns the corner. Cabrera. That rush shot did not fall for her, and Dave Wilson will push the other way. Egypt calling for it. Kicks it out. It's Hill for an open 3. Can't get it to go. And Correte skies for the rebound. Kete, she'll pull for 3. She can knock that down. Struggled yesterday, but finding the touch here tonight.
Well, as she's catching the ball, she's visualizing that shot, understanding the matchup. She's got her feet under her. You got to catch and release, go fishing in transition.
Gotta find number 8 transition if you're Team Canada. She can get hot in a hurry. Now defending Swords. Che inside, good move.
That's it. Be quick, don't hurry. Nobody should be rushing her out there, and takes that dribble, gets her feet set.
First 2 of the game. Can take advantage of her size down low. Correte weaving through traffic. Siciliano with 5 to shoot. Does she know it? Turns the corner. Now gonna have to put it up. A rush shot does not go anywhere near the goal. And Sammy Hill has it. And they're gonna call an offensive foul on Sammy Hill. Dave Wilson is off screen complaining to the official that should have been a shot clock violation, but refs are taught to allow them to play on. Canada has the basketball and an opportunity to run the other way, which Hill did have. But there was a lot of traffic in front of her. I mean, it wasn't really an advantage.
And also, Greta, this was who she is. I mean, she is so disruptive. Those water spiders that are so pesky, if you've ever been to a pond, that are everywhere at all times, that's what she reminds me of. And we saw it yesterday in the game against Brazil. We're seeing it early today. She will get under you in the open court, make you very uncomfortable.
Cabrera with a tough catch in the lane, kicks it back out. Bonus 3 can't fall. This is open to shot you'll get offensively if you're Argentina. It's been that kind of tournament so far for them. Just haven't been able to splash those 3s home. Egypt wants someone to cut. Russell, triple teamed, and she got forearm to the shoulder. And that possession kind of bailed out with that foul because there wasn't much going on for the Canadians here.
Siciliano did a nice job of actually anticipating the spin. I thought she got 2 hands on the ball. The officials saying there was some contact there. Marissa Russell, also another one of those really solid players.
Swords' 3 not there. Bukete with a flat-footed board. Correte in the lane. Bukete, that's a 2. Off the mark. Che with the rebound. Once again, Argentina finding open looks, but just can't knock them down.
Oh, look at Greta fighting through screens up top. Ouch, that had to hurt.
Che has the advantage, so trying to find her. They do on the high-low. Two Argentinian defenders converge, and it's going to be a tie-up. Canada basketball as the arrow pointing their way. So that will reset the shot clock back to 14 for 3.
Those high looks are going to be there simply because of the size advantage inside for Canada in this matchup. But your pass has to be perfect when Philly's low, because there's not room for forgiveness.
Kete has it. Rete in the corner. Will run out. Rete leaves it for Cabrera. Her floater not there. This feels like the lid is on the rim right now for Argentina.
Saw this yesterday for them too, a little bit more actually, I'll say.
Yeah, shooting 33% from the field right now. Shea inside, got blocked from behind by Siciliano, and they're going to call a travel as Shea was able to regather. Wallach will come back into the game.
Siciliano, another one of those players. Not big at all. She's listed at 5'7", but
that's generous.
But I would say on that particular play, you're swinging hard, you better get the ball.
Right.
High risk, high reward. That time she clips the ball. I mean, this backcourt right now for Argentina, like, don't mess with them. They're tough and they are fast.
Rete will step into one. Still can't find the range. Day Wilson watched by Siciliano. In and out cross, Day Wilson got to the rim and was fouled.
Shai's quick too.
Yeah.
She was listening over here and said, she ain't that fast, Amy.
That was one of those plays where you could see Day Wilson said, you know what, I know you're in front of me, but I'm just going to get to the rim. She has that ability. She has a bag, as they say.
Another just textbook example. When you are starting to learn this game and your coach is annoying you by making you handle the ball with your head up. That's why. Shai's got vision, and she saw the open court. She saw the open paint. Her team did a nice job of providing space. But if she's not comfortable keeping her eyes up and surveying as she's handling high pressure on the move, she doesn't get there, right? And so she's a great ball handler too, but all the hours you got to put into the gym to be that comfortable at that speed, it's a lot.
Bright future for Friday Wilson. She's still just only 22 years old. She was fantastic at the U19 World Cup in Hungary for the junior national team. At 18 points, just over 5.5 assists in 2021, and now getting an opportunity to make her debut on the senior national team stage as Bukete drills one. Day Wilson will tee up a three. Indeed. And a whistle blown. I believe we're going to call a foul on Gauna. So it will be Canada basketball, 13th foul for Argentina in this period.
Well, Day Wilson's feeling, but also, I mean, she's making smart decisions. Pressure on defense to not do that.
Russell off the inbound, can't get it to fall. A little bit of a danger zone right now for Argentina as Canada starts to settle into this game. Argentina still can't make shots. Gauna on the block. Rete had an open kick, but she hesitated when she caught the ball. Chagas. This is Rani screen. Rani, pass too tall for her. Wallach will push the other way. Day Wilson. Needed a bounce pass there to find Egypt. Rani got a fingertip to it. Kete looking for Kete as they settle down now. Rani and Russell going back and forth. Russell flops. She's going to get the warning there. And a block there by Wallach. Rani wants more than just a flop warning.
You know who's really upset right now? Kayla Alexander. She got dinged for those two early in the game.
Right.
And now you're letting us play.
Russell and Burani still chat back and forth.
Yeah, well, and keep your eye on it. This is where you said Argentina might be losing their head. This is where you got to stay very composed. That's frustrating because I think she got some contact inside and probably should have been shooting. The officials calling it a flop. I think it would take a little more to knock Marissa Russell down, so I understood that one. I would be a little bit more frustrated for Argentina on that shot attempt there.
Timeout on the floor. 4:53 remaining here in the first half. Canada up 29-18.
I do, but we got to be careful that we're not, because we're not getting the calls, right? So we just got to be careful. Don't talk to the refs, let me talk to the refs. Hey, listen, we got to take care of the ball. They can't guard you downhill, but that was the toughest pass on the floor, so be careful with that. You drew it, but here's your shooters out here, okay? So let's be really careful about that, because right now they cannot guard you going downhill, right? So drags are always good every time down the floor. So we got to get down the floor so she can come off a drag and make some reads. Yeah. Everybody got that? Okay?
Good double lineup, too.
All right, so that could be a double drag on. It could be, all right, that's a pop in a row. You set the first one, you set the second one to pop, and here's shooters wide. So you're surrounded with a lot of good stuff, okay? Defensively, just get a little more physical. Just not let her use that stagger, right? Okay? Let's not be careful. Hey, let's be tough, right? Hey, get this back.
Side Wilson has been on fire here to start this game. 12 points and counting, shooting 67% from the field. She is in a zone right now.
But when you want to ask about what type of coach Nell Fortner is, to me, that spoke so much, because yes, let's talk tactical, let's talk basketball. The first thing she said to her team, I love your toughness.
Right.
That's the priority, is the toughness. And that's, I think, what's exciting about this new iteration of Canada basketball on the women's side, a new head coach. First thing she's talking about is the toughness. The basketball is going to come, but let's talk about that stuff. That's culture stuff right there. And it's, you'd hope the Canadians at home are excited about the future here of this program.
Game number 1 is any indication, the future is definitely bright. Nell Fortner, the big win, 66-point victory in her debut. This game was getting a little physical. Dave Wilson and Grete pushing each other. And Grete took an elbow to the face. Play on. Wilson, that's Hill for 3, excuse me. And she's going to help Grete out after the triple. Dave Wilson and Grete were chatting about something way before all of this. Let's see on the replay. There's the elbow. Not much of an intent there, but it did hit her.
There is contact to the face. Argentina's asking for a review. They should get it. I mean, I think that you've got to give it, because the other thing too is just understanding Gritter is an extremely tough player, and she's physical, so she's not going to flop. If you kind of know your personnel,
Coach Martinez begging for a review. The officials now huddle up. We might get a review of that last play. If they deem it's an unsportsmanlike, they'll upgrade it, and we are going to get the review. So, Amy, we can eavesdrop into this conversation with the great access we have here with FIBA Media.
Yes. This is awesome.
As the officials go to the screen.
So we are going to review if there is a contact that meets the criteria for act of violence. Yeah, can you put the main camera, please? This is main? No. Yeah, please.
Again?
Yeah, please.
So,
what do you see?
I see a normal movement. So she tried to drive the ball. So for me, it's a flop.
I think there is a normal basketball play.
Yeah, for me.
In this play, there is no formal contact in here. What do you have, Bertel?
In my opinion, it's a basketball normal.
It's normal basketball. For me, it's normal basketball play. Do you have the same?
Yeah,
Are we agree?
I confirm.
Yes.
It's a normal basketball play.
So, after review, the contact does not meet the criteria for act of violence. So we have a blue ball on the end line with 24 seconds.
Yes.
With 36 on the game clock.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go. So after review, the contact does not meet the criteria for act of violence. We have 24 on the shot clock for blue ball, okay?
Great access we get here as the officials wear the mic for us, bring you into the conversation and into the public.
So it's always important to remember the officials are trained to think in sequence. And what you heard was because Greta actually poked first for the ball, that's what they're looking at. Okay, she went for the ball, Shai was protecting the ball. So that's why they're saying it's a normal basketball play. It's really, I think it's awesome that we get to hear this, because had we not heard that or understand the sequence type, maybe you're going, well, that was not normal, right. But it was a reaction to the first hit. If I'm Argentina, am I a little bit upset about it? Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Was there a little bit of displacement? Yes, but because they're letting that physicality kind of go, they didn't call the Greta. You saw Greta's actually left hand on Shai's hip. They didn't call that, right? So they're trying to keep it consistent too, but definitely something to keep your eye on, Carlin, is just what if they tighten up the whistle a little bit now.
No question. And by the way, Sammy Hill went to the line, shot a technical free throw, a technical foul free throw, and gives Canada a 33-18 lead with 4:35 remaining here in this first half. Timeout on the floor. Let's head to the Argentina huddle.
Saca Gauna, una venite acá al medio, y si la niegan, primero, negra, pase, más pase, y llevamos el balón sin problema, porque si la atrapan de dos, no pasa nada. Y tenemos el pase de seguridad de Gauna. Gauna siempre detrás de la pelota, hasta que pase la mitad de la cancha. Bien. Cuando llegamos acá, si tenemos tiempo para llamar set, fue cabeza vacío. No, fue cabeza abajo. Fue cabeza abajo, con el España tienen quilombo. Ahora, escuchá. Tenemos que ir a la cortina, cabeza alto, bro. Tenemos que ir a la cortina en la línea de tiro libre para que tenga recorrido la caída. Y que ellos se confundan y podamos abrir al lado contrario para tomar un tiro. ¿Estamos de acuerdo? Sí. Hay que cerrar a menos de 10.
So Coach Martinez calling the timeout to try and regroup his team. You saw Dave Wilson talking a little junk. Business has certainly picked up here so far in this second quarter. And it's a physicality and a trash talking back and forth between these two teams who know each other very well, competing at the AmeriCup.
And while, of course, sportsmanship's always important, I love these games because they mean something, and they should.
For Argentina, they don't want to go down 0-2. For Canada, they'd love to stay perfect in the group before a date with Brazil. Urani, who has the 2 fouls, back into the game. Her shot way off the mark, and Dave Wilson will push.
It's a tough shot of the timeout, right? Your legs haven't been pumping for a couple minutes. You're already in the half court, a little stagnant.
Sammy Hill staring at the D. Egypt hands off to Dave Wilson, and that's a foul. Chagas took a knee to her inner thigh, looks like. Right there, knee-on-knee collision.
Again, it's a physical play, but on the handoff, Egypt was set, her feet are down, and Shai could have actually probably tightened it up a little bit more.
Right.
But Chavez tried to get through it.
She did that time, and it turns into an open jump shot. Dave Wilson working on a 14-point game. This Canada, the largest lead of the game right now. Bukete. Grete. Urani down low. Wallach on her back. Gauna was stripped, was able to get it back. Chagas takes a 3. Off the mark. Urani almost getting called for the over-the-back foul. It's dangerous there with 2 fouls. Goes out of bounds.
A couple shots now for Argentina that they're almost complacent shots. Like, I'm going to take this because I can, because it's open. Right? Not a great shot. That's just because Canada's starting to wear down an offense.
Yeah, it's almost like frustrated offense right now for Argentina. Credit to Canada's D. Wallach on the baseline. Urani in front of her. Wallach forced it up over the top of Urani. Couldn't get it to fall. And Grete will push. Here's Bukete. Keeps this side to Grete. Baldwin with this possession for Argentina. Turns into a three for Bukete. Can't get it to go. Once again, a good block out there by Egypt, but Burani got a fingertip to it, and they say it's last touch by Canada, so we'll stay here with 14 on the clock for Argentina to work with.
Yeah, those extra small, they look small, like they're extra efforts from Burani, but you're giving yourself, your teammates, another opportunity to score right now, and that's the most important thing. Argentina, I think they got to find a way. You want to finish it at least in the 20s here. I think you got to get there by halftime.
Get back on the floor for Team Canada, 3 and white. Grete on the baseline. Chagas shows it. Got give in the air. They're going to say the foul on the floor.
Chagas tried to get that shot up, tried to bait the officials, didn't work, but Argentina's really gonna, they are attacking Delaney Gibb out there. And on both sides, watch on offense too, they're really gonna get physical with her.
It's a 13 foul for Team Canada. You saw Coach Martinez in the background shaking his head. His arms crossed, already has one technical foul, doesn't want to get kicked out of this game. Gibb that time doing a good job of staying in front of Chagas. Good spin there by Gauna. She's able to get the teardrop to fall. Wilson using the Wallach screen. She wanted her to re-screen, but then picked up her dribble. We'll try it again. Hey, Wilson crossing over, step back. Can't get it to go. Ejim is going to get called for an over-the-back foul.
Ejim's so strong. Sometimes I think she's just going for the ball, but it's just the officials are saying too much of a knock. Not intentional. She's just trying to get that ball. She's got, I think, the best Spalding diet in this event that I've seen so far. She's getting after it. She wants it.
Swords back on the floor for Canada.
I should say molten diet.
Yes, the molten basketball. Chagas crossing over, spinning a nice pass, but read by Russell. Burani has it. Chagas puts it up as the shot clock winds down. And Gauna gets fouled, and she's bailed out. You hear the shot clock expiring there. It's going to put her at the line.
Argentina's been playing extremely scrappy the last couple minutes, but those little extra efforts are keeping them in the fight. And that's what you have to do. When you can't find the rhythm, the flow, and you're not hitting your shots, how can you stay in the fight? And they're doing it on both ends right now. Look at that. Just holding position inside. And wow, I mean, it's just strong play.
There's a little bit of a Canadian connection. Is Victoria Gauna playing at Bishop's University in Quebec.
U-Sport second team, all Canadian. That's tough. That's tough to crack an entire country on that second team.
Yeah, averaged 14.6 points per game last season. Before her free throws, we're going to get a timeout. 15-point advantage for Team Canada with 1:33 remaining in the first half. Stick with us. You're watching FIBA Women's AmeriCup here from Santiago, Chile.
We got to finish this strong, right? We got to finish this half strong. So let's make sure we're not fouling. We can't foul them. We can't put them at the line and let them get points there, right? So let's be really smart because we're fouling too much right now. Right. So coming down, we'll run Kona. Okay. Right. So we got Kona. So we're going to come, but follow me here. We're going to go Kona Blue Jay with Delaney. Okay. Delaney's the Blue Jay. Okay. Right. So now we've got the 4. Sala, you're on opposite corner. We've got Vaughn. Marissa Russ is here. Vaughn is the 5. You're cutting that and screening for Delaney. And Delaney, wait, be patient, let her get you. And then you're coming back, come hard for the ball, and you're looking for her for the 3 right there.
Okay, so I'm just dribbling from here to here.
Yeah, you're coming right here, bring it down. They're working their Blue Jay. Be patient and nail that shot. If you don't have it, give it back to her. Come on, y'all, here you go. Listen, give it back. She'll give it back if she doesn't have it and get a ball screen. Okay, let's go. Together, 1, 2, 3, together.
Hey, when the last
emotions of group play here in Chile. Hotly contested game number 2 for both these teams.
Keep in mind, the Canadians just over 24 hours ago dropped 100 points.
Yeah.
35 hasn't come quite as easy, which I don't think anyone in the gym is surprised by that. This Argentina team was going to come out different level of physicality, different type of experience than El Salvador did for the Canadians yesterday. That being said, I mean, 35 points, not a very high scoring first half.
On his first free throw off the mark. Minute 33. It's going to be important for Argentina to try and close this half strong and go into the locker room maybe feeling a little bit better about themselves than they did yesterday. Third quarter was their best quarter of the game against Brazil, where they were able to hold them to just 8 points. So we know it's in them.
That's always speaks to, I think, coaching in terms of making adjustments, leadership.
Gibbs comes off the curl. Can't get that to fall. And Siciliano will dribble the other way. Ghana wants it on the block. Spins baseline. Patient move, but blocked by Egypt. Russell thought about the 3, now putting it on the deck. Russell in the lane. Can't get it to go. Egypt battling. Rebound falls to Siciliano. She slipped on the floor. Somehow got it to Martinez. Yauna. Blocked by Gibb. What a reaction that time by Delaney Gibb.
Argentina just looked a little gassed there. Excellent effort and hustle from Gibb to get back. Should have been an easy 2 points for Argentina.
Foul off the ball and go the other way. Coach Martinez now asking a lot of questions. He's going to have to answer the next 41.4 seconds when he gets his team into the room. It's a possession arrow in favor of Argentina. There is a tie of both these teams in the penalty.
And Guana, she looks gassed. She's tired. And that foul is a little evidence of that.
We'll see. Good balance on that jump shot, but can't get the drop. Gauna vacuums in the rebound. Shot clock unplugged. Argentina has an opportunity to hold for the last. And an offensive foul is called on Gauna as Dane Wilson takes the charge.
Yeah, listen, she's running the rim hard, even though she does look tired. But look at Dane Wilson, steps in front. It's frustrating as a player on offense, but I used to love doing that type of stuff on defense because it's more of a pride thing. My 2 feet are here first. It's my position.
Right.
And Dane Wilson got her 2 feet set on a player that was just trying to rim run, not really with her head up.
Yeah, and an important foul to take as Gauna now has 3 heading into the second half. She's on the bench now. She'll watch the rest of the 13 seconds remaining in this quarter. Cannon will hold for the last look here. Hey, Wilson finds Wallach. Wallach for 3. Left it short. Siciliano has an opportunity to put it up. She's not going to get a look. And that's how we'll end the first 20 minutes of play here on match day 2, the second game for these two teams. Canada up 15 after the first half.
Definitely had that feeling, though, this is far from over. I think Argentina's probably a little frustrated with some of the calls that haven't went their way, but I think they've been right. It's been well. This game's been officiated very well. But that's not what they're thinking right now. And so they're still in the fight, 15-point game. Look at the shooting percentages. They're shooting 12% from long range, really hard at the international level to show that number. Still 15-point game. I mean, look at the rebounding. You're keeping it close on the boards, which is harder to do. Canada had 66 boards yesterday. Shai Wilson leading the way, leading all scorers with 14.
But it comes down to Argentina just being able to make shots, and they haven't been able to do that so far in this first half, just shooting 24% from the field as we take a look at some of the best plays. The first 20 minutes of play here in this one. Canada up 15 at the half.
Argentina only scoring 8 points in that second quarter. Quite detrimental. Had a hard time making shots, where I thought Canada kind of at times really snapped into their advantages inside when they had the size advantage. Look at that under the screen, stop and pop from Day Wilson.
Shy Day Wilson leading all scorers, 14 points, and doing it efficiently as well, 56% from the field. Has 4 rebounds as well. The ball movement hasn't been there for Canada as it was on game day 1 against El Salvador. Just 5 assists on the 12 made field goals. Yesterday, they were just moving the rock, and it felt like everyone was touching it before the shot went up. This Argentinian defense causing issues for Canada to get into their flow, but Wilson's been able to break it down in one-on-one play, and that's kind of the next step really for her game. Is can she do it at this level? We know she could do it at the collegiate level, but can she do it against pros?
Yeah, getting into the teeth of the defense, getting into the paint, for me is always option number 1 in any offense, because then you're forcing defense to make decisions, right? I love paint. Everyone wants the threes now, and I get it, but I love paint touch threes. They're my favorite kind, and so when you can establish yourself as a player that can get that every single time, can create those looks for your teammates. Well, first of all, people want to play with you. GMs want to have you on their team. Coaches want to coach you. And she's had a really strong game in that first game and a half of this event.
She sure has. We'll take the break and be back with more.
Education,
here from Santiago.
Health, justice. We sometimes take these simple things for granted. They're not common for all of us. We are all born on the same planet, but not with the same opportunities.
Whatever our gender, color, belief, or capability, we are one. We are all on the same team. Let's convince those who never thought they would do it that they can. We can. Together, we are stronger. No matter your origin, basketball can bring everyone together. Basketball for good.
She's been representing Canada for a little over a decade now. This is her 4th AmeriCup. She started back in 2015 at the Universiade. This is her 111th game with Team Canada.
Threes have been like layups for them so far in this game. Villalobos, tough move, Canada, and the foul.
Dantes puts it up. She's going to be one of the premier players in this tournament, and just like that, she shows us why.
Watched by Martinez. Dantes spinning, popping, and dropping. Great step back, and she drills it.
You're right. Argentina is getting the shots that they want. It's just not falling for them. There's an and one.
Guess who else is getting the shots they want?
Columbia starting to turn up the pressure defensively. Inside, gorgeous pass. What a block! Gonzalez says no. Nice no-look pass inside by Tevez.
I like the patience I saw from this El Salvador team. What a wonderful pass inside. And then you got to get back on defense on the other end. Gretter taking on Cordoso. This is the matchup I want to see. Gretter puts it up. That one's good, and the crowd, that's the loudest they've been in a while.
Rios knocking it off the back of a defender and putting it in.
Manuela Rios, she has been such a star in this first half for Colombia.
That is unbelievable. These guys will be legends in their own countries, but also in the international basketball world.
Top scorers from the first half. Take a look at it for Argentina. It's Andrea Buquete came off the bench, providing 7 points for Argentina. And able to get hot quickly. And Amy, when you have a player like Buquete coming off the bench, that is instant offense. It just sort of eases some of the nerves that you do have going up against this tough defense like Canada.
You have to find her in transition, because as I'm watching a lot of these, you'll notice she's got very good feet, like just steps into her shot. We saw the previous, it looked like it was a curl off of a screen where you're setting yourself up for success when you understand how to use your feet. And great shooters, to me, like, yes, we all see the release, it's pretty, we see the form, but great shooters have great feet. And so I hope Argentina, for them, probably want to score a little more than 20. Find her on the run when she's open. She's got to let it fly.
Here's a look at that.
Look at the feet,
perfect
right?
form and the feet.
On the catch, that left foot is already planted. She's balanced.
For the Canadians, Cheyenne Day-Wilson has been terrific, doing it inside and outside. And has been able to settle her team down offensively. And she's been able to do it from the long range and also getting to the 10.
Really efficient, 5 for 9.
Giving you that mid-range game as well that most people forget about. And at her size, I've been really impressed with her ability to still get to the rim and really not see any trees in front of her.
Yeah, and the mid-range is so important for her to continue to show and establish at her size, because she'll be able to break the first player down. She'll be able to get past you on the perimeter, but there's usually big help. There's usually bodies down low, so her ability to get her super quick feet down again, we talk about feet, and to get into that shot, that mid-range, huge for her to continue to get there.
First opportunity to play at the senior national team level, and so far, a passing grade for her. 35-20 your score. Team Canada in front of Argentina here in game number 2 for these two teams. We'll take a look at some of the team stats. First for Argentina, see 20 points on the board, the 22 rebounds. The fast break points are there. The fast break points really came about with Buquete coming into the game, that transition 3 that we saw in the highlight pack, and then her ability to really run to the corner to open up the floor for her teammates as well.
Yeah, fast break, so transition, but also for Argentina, that secondary transition, because even when Canada's hustling, and they've got some really long guards, they look really poised and communicating well. So if they disrupt that first action, get into a second action quickly, right? You got to keep the defense shuffling. I think sometimes Canada stop them on that first action, and then it turns into that half-court choppy offense, tough shots at the end of a shot clock. And so continuing to just play with momentum, play with some speed on the run, really important for Argentina. That's how they're going to find their best shots here.
For Canada, you see the 35 points on the board, the 26 rebounds. They've been doing their damage primarily in the half court, just 2 fast break points. Credit Argentina for taking that out of their game, as it was something they went to against El Salvador to get out to that big 66-point win in game day 1. Cheyenne Day-Wilson, of course, the leading scorer and efficient from the field. So you're 50% from three-point range. It's 56% overall from the field.
And when you consider her usage and how much she has the ball in her hands when she's out there, only one turnover too. Right. So against really tough pressure, Argentina's got some super quick, but also fiery, spicy, not scared to take hits guards. And they are really trying to stay present in front of her. Not an easy thing to do. So she's also taking care of the ball while handling that.
Kayla Alexander hasn't really been able to get in this game, picking up 2 quick fouls to start it. And she only played 2 minutes and 23 seconds of the first quarter, sat the rest of the first half.
And they were both like post-up type fouls. I cringe at those. Giving me nightmares. I get it, I understand it. I'm not disputing it, but I just don't like it.
Well, there's Mel Fortner. You see her, this is her second game at the helm for Team Canada. Was hired back in May, sort of changed the momentum for this national team after the disappointing appearance at the Summer Games a year ago. And she has the experience to do so, coaching Team USA 1998, and of course winning gold at the 2000 Sydney Olympic Games, and a bunch of Hall of Famers on that roster. She has the experience, and now it's time to kind of bring that to Team Canada, and the talent is there. It's just cultivate it. You know you're dominant here at the Americas level. Now take that to the rest of the world. We know the World Cup's coming up next year, next summer.
Yeah, and when you look at the Canadian program, traditionally they have a wide range of ages and experience on their teams. They don't have one core, right? It's just kind of the way that they've been building. And it looks, again, right, when you look out there, you've got really young players and some more experienced players. So when you look at a coach like Nell Fortner and what she brings, she's won at every level. Collegiate level, W, Olympic. And so I think that's important because she knows how to kind of handle, communicate, and what to expect from a different player depending on where they are in their career, if that makes sense. Now, the tough part is getting it to come all together. And she's missing some key pieces, some WNBA talent, which is a positive problem. Right. When you look at this, you know that this isn't going to be the squad, but you're welcoming back some serious talent when that comes.
Let's listen into her huddle.
Not the post up. Don't worry about that. Let's just run that thing and let's get some rhythm with it a little bit and see what we can get off of it, right? If we get it and we're out running, though, if we're out and we're pushing, then just drag it. So the last post down, just go drag her. Okay? Everybody got that? But if it's we get the rebound deep or whatever, and you're just pushing up, we get into flow, let's get in it. Everybody understand? The other thing we'll look at early is going to be or zoom. Yeah, zoom. The person in it. Right. So you're going to go to Yvonne right there and go off, and then we got that zoom screen coming. And curl that kind of like a blue jay over there. Let's get Kayla that look right there. Okay? So flow, and then zoom would be a set play. All right. Okay? All right, let's go. Be tough. Keep that up. Keep that defense up. Keep that defend and rebound. Simone guards. Together. 1, 2, 3. Together. Here we go.
Always grateful to be a fly on the wall of some of those huddles. Get some insight and just hear the communication between player and coach. Let's take a look at Sammy Hill, Von Ejim, Shea Cawley, Shy Day Wilson, and Kayla Alexander will start the starting five, for Team Canada here to start the second half. Go ahead.
Well, you heard Coach. She wants them to play with flow, but I like also that they're going to try to get Kayla Alexander the ball in her hands. Your leader, your veteran, didn't get to play. Let's get her a touch.
Yeah, warm her back up. It'll be Argentina basketball to start the second half. And they trail 35-20 here in their second game at the Women's AmeriCup in Santiago, Chile. Grete will tee up the three and drill it. That's a great sign for Grete.
Alexander went under the screen. Looked like she was trying to hedge out and show, but she got a little too low and pinned.
Poor shooting night for Grete against Brazil in their loss. She was 0-2 from the field in the first half. Her first attempt here in the second half goes through. Kayla Alexander wide open underneath, and they found her off the set play.
Yeah, had high post action, some screen, and then when she dove down to the block, nobody picked her up.
Grete now has Alexander on her. Reminder, Alexander has the 2 fouls. Reason why she sat the majority of the first half. Great pass there by Grete, making it easy for Cabrera to turn and finish. There's Shea Cauley. Alexander sets for her. Cauley turns the corner, attacking the rim, was blocked by Cabrera. Goes out of bounds, 5 to shoot for Canada here.
Cabrera did an excellent job of staying square to Cauley, and it actually looked like she got shoved into that momentum, but she kept her body square. Here it is right here on the backside. I know Cauley wants the call. It's been a physical game.
Meanwhile, back in live action, Cauley missed the long 3. Argentina runs back the other way. Grete turns the corner with pace. Urani for 3. Left it on the front of the rim, and Egypt with another board.
Quick offense, though. Quick passing from Argentina creates that open look.
Egypt had 12 rebounds in the win against El Salvador. She has 7 now. Day Wilson still hot. She is in a rhythm here this evening. Here's Burani. Floor clear for her. She can go to work. Cabrera, now they kick it back out to Grete. 5 to shoot. Grete crossing over in the lane. Chagas, as the shot clock expires, can't get it to go. Guess who has it? Egypt vacuums it in. Day Wilson with Kayla Alexander running, and she let her just too far.
Oh, Shai puts her hands on her head, because when your posts are outrunning that hard, you want to reward them. You need their effort under the glass. At international level, it's so physical. You need them to fight. And so when they have those run-out opportunities, it's tough when you can't get them that look.
Urani and Grete, 2-man game. Grete now puts on the Jets. Keeps the dribble alive. And gets the return pass and tees up the 3. Much better offense for Argentina to start this quarter. Now they got to get some stops. Alexander at the nail. Day Wilson with Grete on her. Strong screen there by Alexander. She takes 2. And the foul is going to be called on Cabrera.
A smart play from Shai, because on the switch, she attacked the hip. Slower defender. No opportunity to recover here as Cabrera steps out, just leans in. Cabrera's trying to force her to the sideline, not letting her turn the corner, and there's your Grete shot. We saw this yesterday with Argentina. We're not surprised that they've come out here in the third quarter. They did it yesterday, too.
Yeah, they won their third quarter against Brazil 16-8. Only Brazil to just 8 points. They still lost that game by 21.
It didn't feel like it. And Brazil put a push on at the end there to win. But they hung a lot tougher in the second half.
Similar start here to this third period. The way they've come out and looked more comfortable offensively than they had previously. So it looks like we'll have an official timeout here. And we might even get a review. So on the foul, Day Wilson took a shot to the face by Cabrera, and she's out of the game right now, still having trouble, looks like, seeing. Off camera you can see that, but we'll listen into the officials to see if it is indeed an official review and what they're looking for. I believe we'll be looking for a 3-point basket here, and they are. That's the shot right there.
We are going to review if the shot was 2 or 3-point shots. The initial decision on court is 3-point shot. So it's clear. It touched the line.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I agree.
Do you agree? Yes.
Yes, I agree.
So after review, the initial decision is reversed. Is 2-point shot. So after review, the initial decision is reversed. 2-point shot. Yes. For Grete.
So Grete goes from having 6 points in this quarter to 2 to that 2-point shot being called there. So she now has 5 in this quarter.
That is kind of the epitome for Argentina, where it's like, can we just get one thing in our way? Can we not just have the three? But it was right. I mean, clear on the foot on the line. But
on the bright side, though, she's seeing the ball finally go through the basket.
That's it. You just want to start making shots and feeling that rhythm. So it's all good.
So inbound here, 14 on the clock for Canada to work with. Colley attacking on the tough layup. Day Wilson out of the game right now. She's on the stationary bike, so looks to be okay after taking a shot to the face on the previous possession. Russo, her first attempt of the night, can't get it to fall. Swords into the game now for Day Wilson. Almost went into coffin corner. Now Sammy Hill with direct traffic. The two vets, two-man game. Alexander's deep post position. She wants it. She's gonna have to clear the lane. Colley trying to cross over, lost the rock. Grete all over the deck, and it's gonna be a shot clock violation. And there's the defense we were talking about early on, Amy.
Yeah, and listen, I know Caleb Alexander wanted that ball, but Shea, I don't think she had the angle, and there wasn't a lot of room for error because it was so tight to the baseline. I think they missed Kayla Alexander on her initial screen and dive. Sammy Hill, and she had her head turned the other way. That would have been probably a quick two for Canada.
Yeah. Grete, she'll take another deep one, that time a three. Can't get it to fall. Here's Colley using the Egypt screen. Hill for three. Off the back iron, Colley with the offensive rebound. Finds Alexander that time.
That time. She said, I got you. I'll get you a good one.
Kayla Alexander now finding herself into this basketball game after struggling with foul trouble in the first quarter. She's up to 4 points quickly. Chagas uses the Cabrera screen. Tried to bounce it inside to Cabrera, but a good kick save there by Colley.
This is with Kayla Alexander in the game, she's so long. And so your attention to detail offensively in terms of spacing and spreading the floor has to be great. They're just going to clog that paint up. Silas Orr is an extremely long, quick guard. They've got length, and so if your spacing's off, you're in trouble.
Bukete into the game for Argentina. She was the leading scorer at half for this team. And she's in the mix there as a rugby scrum here on the near side of the floor. As Colley's going to get called for the foul. And she might have taken the worst of it all on that last play. Here's Bukete. Quick trick, indeed. 9 points and counting for Bukete. We know she could score off the bench for Argentina. Definitely a shooter. They got to identify her. Egypt. There's Hill. Turning the corner. Hill. Grete all over her. Hill finds a shot, but couldn't get it to drop. And she'll go to the line to try and earn them.
Sammy Hill's story so great. Had the opportunity to compete in the Olympic Games, but been in the program for so long, sometimes in reserve, and I believe she just continued to express how much that meant to her to get that nod, and now still with the program in a different type of leadership role.
Yeah.
One of the more seasoned players on this roster.
She's been plug and play for the entire time with the senior national team. If you wanted an energy player, someone that's just going to come in and defend at a high level, she could do that. Now in this role, a playmaker, the leader on this basketball team. So been able to do it all.
That's tough, right? Sometimes when your role changes on a nightly basis, you got to be you got to have a special shoulders up type game.
Do so. Trying to turn the corner on Day Wilson. That's great defense by Day Wilson. And then finally gets called for the foul. Her hand got caught there. As Durso was having a tough time turning the corner on Day Wilson.
Yeah, right at the end. Day Wilson got so pumped up. She had her pinned. Went for the ball.
Mungo will check into the game. 3 in blue for Argentina. Cabrera will sit. D'Urso on the inbound. She'll tee up a three. Can't get it to fall, and Bourani's going to pick up her third foul. That was a bad one to take.
And judging by her reaction, she doesn't agree with you. Kayla Alexander did a great job on the box out there.
She didn't really have an angle at that rebound. I could always show her the replay if she disagrees with me. Referees agree with me, that's all that really matters. Mel Fortner looks on as her team trying to pick up their second win here in Santiago, Chile. Sammy Hill crosses the timeline. Alexander drills it. Kayla Alexander coming alive here in the third.
That's such an automatic shot for her weak side. But her release point's so high and she's already so tall. So on those catches, it's tough. Oh, speaking of
length.
Yeah.
Able to get a fingertip to that one to prevent a wide open Bourani from getting an easy layup. And then moving her feet and causing a turnover.
One-woman wrecking crew in consecutive possessions with a nice shot, but then the block, that's uncomfortable when you feel like you're on an island with a quick guard in front of you at the perimeter. But she uses her length to maintain her position, and while she doesn't get credit on the box score, really caused the fumble and turnover.
Playing pro basketball well into her mid-30s now, and last season with Valencia in Spain, averaging 12.3 points per game, 6 rebounds. Her season ended and she decided to go to Portugal and hang out. Not a bad place to be.
It's not a terrible decision right there. Beautiful country.
Another foul called, so 4th team foul here on Argentina. It's the first on Mongo. There's Dave Wilson. Alexander sets the screen. Now trying to establish position. Bourani playing with 3 fouls, just picked up her 4th. And she's leaning on the stanchion with her arms crossed in disbelief.
It's been a little frustrating, I think, for the post players, just because there's been a little inconsistency with what's being allowed. And when you play, like, some games you're like, all right, they're going to let us play, and some games they're not. But sure. I think with Bourani, she's gotten away with a lot of that stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. But then all of a sudden you're not. And you're going, what are you doing? You know, that's tough. It's tough to play, but understandable, it happens. And Kayla Alexander establishes great position. She's tough to get around because she's also agile. She's not just strong. And so when you're the smaller player, you oftentimes will try to release and recover into a lane, but she can also keep her feet moving too. And so that's why I think she draws that foul.
So Bourani will sit with her 4 fouls. Just to see where Coach Martinez brings her back into this game. As D'Urso has it. Mongo, Buquete, Hill all over her. Mongo, rejected by Alexander. And Becker, who's into the game, comes away with a block inside. And there's only 2.3 seconds here for Argentina to work with on the shot clock. Buquete floats it, can't get it to go. And Alexander vacuums it in. Sammy Hill directing traffic. Offense that has dried up for Argentina after starting the quarter with some promise. Dave Wilson sees the floor clear, gets to her spot. Can't get it to go. Rebound, Becker inside. Mongo with the rejection.
Yeah, they're going to continue to fight, right? They're going to play tough. I mean, Becker's coming to the game, and I think she's done an excellent job around the rim, too, with the rebounding on both sides of the court.
Alexander is fouled once again, and she'll go to the line.
Yeah, Kayla Alexander, we heard Nell Fortner at halftime talking to her team. And that's the one player she mentioned, was let's get Kayla Alexander a touch early has been her entire quarter. She's been a great defender too. I think Argentina's made some tough decisions offensively, taking Kayla Alexander off the balance at the rim. It's a tough shot to make. She's an excellent shot blocker, and she can move her feet. But offensively also just really completing plays. She's been out there, that's the biggest thing, right? She hasn't been on the bench with early fouls. And her team's been doing a really nice job putting her in positions to find success in this third quarter.
Kente, quick trigger. That's no good. Becker just doing enough to keep it in. Gabe Wilson coming back the other way. Here's Becker, wide open lane. Maya Becker with her first 2 of the game. Canada extends the lead, 50-29. Under 2 to play here in this third. Gentinetta is fouled. No basket, fouls on the floor. Egypt back into the game, and Kayla Alexander's going to get a hand from the bench. High fives all around as she exits.
Yeah, it was an excellent showing. Leadership by example. Just get out there and get it done.
9 points all coming in this quarter. Siciliano couldn't get that one to drop. That's a jump ball. Possession error going Canada's way. On the floor for Team Canada, Egypt, Dave Wilson, Becker, Swords, and Sammy Hill. Siciliano, Gentinetta, Boquete, Durso, and Mongo on the floor for Argentina. Dave Wilson wants an Egypt screen, kicks to the corner, Swords for 3. Indeed! That's a great kick out that time by Dave Wilson. Siciliano draws 2, Mongo uses the up fake, driving inside, can't get it to fall, and Sammy Hill in the open floor. Swords will try this side of the floor and knock it down. Canada beginning to flex their muscle here in the third quarter. That's going to lead to a timeout.
Canada basketball has identified Silas Swords as one of the young stars, but not just getting opportunities, she is thriving in her opportunities. 19 years old, Carmen.
Oh, to be young again.
Yeah.
We'll listen into the Argentinian huddle.
Juega cuerno bajo, ¿sí? Para que juegue pick and roll el Maki. ¿Está? Si jugamos al revés, jugamos para la negra va mano en mano y jugamos variante. Pero si jugamos cuerno bajo con la con Durso, se queda jugando Durso pick and roll, atacarla fuerte, a ver si podemos llegar a buenos tiros. No estamos tomando buenos tiros, nos vamos a embocar la pelota si no tomamos buenos tiros. Y atrás, cada vez que pueden, nos superan, nos tiran tiro con los pies en el piso todo el tiempo. ¿Está? Vamos a levantar, dale, dale.
Argentina, va.
Canada running the table right now on Argentina. And Swords been able to find the range here in the third.
And what I love about her game too, that second one started with her retaining possession on the defensive end, and she made this quick little, almost a scoop pass to Sammy Hill. And it looks like it's not a big deal, but that started the transition, right? It allowed, I mean, Sammy didn't have to break stride. She circles back, and there's just the way she plays, the reads she makes, and the skill set she brings, special player.
A great season at Michigan last year, 16 points per game. Just over 6 rebounds as well. Egypt's gonna get called for the foul. She thought she had a clean rejection. And Gentinetta will go to the line.
It's a nice hard dive, and Argentina just snapping back into the basics a little bit. Offense got away from them quite a bit there in the third quarter, and it didn't start that way. They only scored 9 points before these 2 free throws here. First couple minutes of the third quarter, it looked like they were going to really push back like we saw yesterday, but Canada really composed themselves and were able to push ahead, and speaks a bit to the maturity of the Canadian team and the experience that they bring.
Jeanette at the line. She was one of the youngest members of the senior national team in 2022 when they won the South American Championship.
And she didn't play yesterday either, so this is really her event debut.
Yeah, first minutes in the tournament for her. And the reason why she's on the floor is Burani is playing with 4 fouls. Gibb inside was fouled by Bukete, and she'll go to the line. Talked about how young Swords is. Yeah. Gibb, same age.
Another one, yeah, and also toughness in her opportunities, and that's where you get excited, where you have your young players might play different roles on a different roster in a senior national team, WNBA talent coming back. So when they do have that chance, that's where it starts. It's toughness, those type of plays, crashing the offensive glass.
Unanimous Big 12, freshman of the year last season for BYU, averaging 17.4 points. Just a sharpshooter, very efficient from the floor.
40% from 3,
yeah.
That's what you're talking about, but also like 5 rebounds, 4 assists. That's a great season at BYU.
Yeah, she flew in a little late, Amy, because her boyfriend, Yegor Demin, was drafted to the NBA.
I think that's fair. That's fair. And that was nice to hear Canada basketball was in support of that.
Right.
That's a very rare opportunity. She also has one of the best mascots in college sports. I forget the name of that guy, but he dances. You got to YouTube it if you haven't seen it. He gets down.
For the BYU Cougars, a lot of attention is going to be on them over the next couple of years as they continue to build a good basketball program, both for the men's and women's side over there in Utah. A rare offensive rebound here for Argentina as Canada sits back in his zone. Gentinetta drills the 3 to close the 3rd quarter. Maybe they can bottle up some of that momentum as they head to the final quarter as Argentina closes the 3rd with a big 3. Canada still up big, 58-34 after 30 minutes of play.
I love to read body language, and what you just saw was an Argentina team that looked like they're ready to continue to compete. Players up, going to meet the 5 that are on the court, hands kind of going, let's go, let's get this done, and so not over yet.
The stats from the first 3 quarters of play, 17%. You circle that one. Argentina struggling to find the range. Yesterday they put up 45 3-point attempts. It is an AmeriCup record. They're not going to get to that tonight, but they would love to see some of them fall. And with 1 quarter remaining, everything in front of them, they can try to kill the scoreboard and just play to try to win this quarter and see what happens.
Yeah, those first 2 looks are very early for Argentina in that 3rd quarter. They kind of just snapped back to their type of basketball, ball movement. Look at that, outside shots, knocking them down. Then Canada really tightened up the defense. I thought Kayla Alexander had a couple huge stances herself, which really ignited her team. And then they really locked up Argentina for the remainder of that quarter.
Yeah, and she got her offense going after only playing 2 minutes in the first half. Due to foul trouble, she came alive with 9 points in the 3rd period. We can talk a lot about Canada's offense. Becker getting into the mix. Saw Swords knock down some 3s, but it's been the defense that has been impressive through the first 3 and really the first 7 quarters of this tournament as they held El Salvador to just 34 points in their win in game number 1. Scan the QR code on your screen right now. Courtside 1891. Your companion app for the FIBA Women's AmeriCup. Follow along here in Chile. You can watch the streams there. You can keep up with the scores, get your box scores, see the upcoming schedules, and so much more, not only just for this tournament, but for all FIBA competitions all around the world. Competition you're familiar with, the CBL. You get the CBL scores in the Courtside 1891 app too. It's all there.
Ball, it never stops.
Start of the 3rd quarter, Argentina basketball down 58-34. Carlin Gay alongside Amy Audibert. Thanks for joining us wherever you are, however you're doing so. And Gauna could not get that one to drop. Egypt comes away with another rebound. Dave Wilson turning the corner. This side is Delaney Gibb. It's the side of the backboard, and Alexander couldn't handle the rebound. Argentina looking to push the other way with Martinez. She dribbled it off her knee. There's Day Wilson, head on a swivel. Day Wilson to the basket.
No, but she just took on multiple defenders, no problem.
Found a crack in the defense and just slipped right through it. Siciliano. Martinez. Day Wilson moving her feet, staying in front of her and showing her hands to the officials. Downell will tee up a three as the shot clock winds down. And Egypt with an easy rebound.
The coaching staff for Argentina hands up, looking at his team, saying, guys, the offense, it's got to be cleaner than that.
Egypt wants Day Wilson to run through. Alexander with 3 to shoot. Egypt's going to have to put it up at the foul line. Couldn't get it there. It's a shot clock violation.
Excellent defensive stance for Argentina, but you got to be able to score too on the other end. And maybe that's a timeout taken to draw something up and see if they can find some quick buckets here.
An early timeout taken here in the fourth quarter. 60-34 your score. Argentina trailing in this one. Well, this is just the second game of the day. Earlier today, you had a thriller in game number 1 between El Salvador and the Dominican Republic. The Dominican Republic playing their first game in the tournament. El Salvador trying to bounce back after being blown out by Team Canada, and they kept it close throughout.
Yeah, they actually led almost the entire game. The Dominican Republic leading less than 3 minutes, but they led when it mattered most, when the buzzer went off.
We'll have Mexico and Chile a little later on for Group B action. It'll be Mexico's first game here in the tournament. And to cap the day here on match day 2, it'll be Team USA and Colombia. That'll be the nightcap here in Santiago.
In that third quarter, Canada out-rebounded Argentina 14-4. Glass is so important. Always stressing. It's really hard to control anything without the ball in your hands, right? I mean, it's the most important thing on the court. It's the only thing that can score you buckets. And when you don't have that ball in your hands, you're on the defense, literally, right? When you've got the ball in your hands, you can control things a little bit more. And so Argentina, you look at their low scoring output there in the third quarter, didn't have the ball in their hands particularly a lot.
So out of the timeout, let's see how Argentina respond. Siciliano crossing over, gets to the paint. The floater's not there. Then Tineta stabbed at it but couldn't control it. And Canada comes the other way. It'll be Day Wilson off the drag. Gibb, she'll tee up a 3. Can't get it to fall, following her own miss. But touched it last as it goes out of bounds. Siciliano waits for the Gentineta screen. Gentineta with a good jab fake that time to get to the rim, but was rejected by Alexander. She'll try a 3 instead. That doesn't fall, and Day Wilson skies for the board.
You work so hard to get to the rim, and you're met with Ejim and Alexander. That's your reward for a tough drive, right? I mean, it's hard. It's size discrepancy's tough.
They say no easy buckets. As Day Wilson takes a wide open look, can't get it to fall. Alexander tracks it down and gets a fresh 14 for Canada. Ejim sets and rolls and finishes.
Shai Wilson, she was 2 steps ahead of that. She almost set it up before it even came. Ejim, as soon as she set the screen, that roll was so quick.
On the other end, Siciliano getting all the way to the cup. Russell waiting to check in for Canada. At the nail, it's Alexander. One dribble pull. Line drive shot not there. Siciliano looking to push the other way. Here's Buquete. Downey. Buquete. Got to keep in front of her. Constant movement for Buquete.
And she's a shooter, and shooters don't need a whole lot of airspace to feel comfortable on a release.
I'd like to see her be a little bit more selfish in terms of finding her shot, especially here late in the fourth. Alexander, that's too easy. Here's Buquete. Siciliano, Martinez. Siciliano on the step back two. Off the mark. Egypt with another rebound. Give her 12 rebounds, matching her total from yesterday. It's going to be the first team foul for Argentina called here. You see it right there as Day Wilson was trying to get the offense going, running into Gentinetta.
And Day Wilson had so many options running lanes. That's the mindset of Team Canada coming into this one. I mean, they're playing fast, running wide. All those sweat the small stuff, that's what I say, they matter.
5:24, the small stuff going to be scrutinized here for both these teams. And their second game here in Santiago, Chile. Gentinetta, good move to the 10. That's going to lead to a timeout. 64-41, Canada in front with 5:09 to play here in the fourth.
She's doing a nice job of showing her coach and her team as well. They didn't have the opportunity yesterday, but she's played incredibly tough. Nice player, young, but showing some stuff out there.
In these types of games, when you do get in, it's your time to shine, to try and earn more minutes for the third game of the tournament, fourth game of the tournament, if you're looking at round and looking to be in that position. Gentinetta, as you mentioned, did not step on the floor once against Brazil. Here she is against Canada, and she's played well, played solid within herself.
You're always kind of auditioning in these. Every 4 years, if your team's lucky enough to qualify,
right,
you want an opportunity. There's no greater honor, right, than playing for your country in the Olympic Games, and especially when you're playing for teams that realistically have an opportunity to be there. Those teams, I find the best successful teams at the Olympics are the puzzle pieces, right, where you're picking the group that fits together. And so you might not be a star, but if you can show to be a plug and play, if you can show something that will be a part of that puzzle piece, if that makes sense. And so when you look at these tournaments, as where you prove yourself and you identify of what you can do and who you are as a player. And so you might not be a starter, you might not get a whole lot of minutes, but when you're out there, if you're able to shine in certain columns, that might be enough for you to get that call.
Play resumes as we tick down halfway through this third quarter. Canada with the basketball and a big lead. Alexander had it poked out of her hands, and Mongo will head the other way. There's Martinez. Siciliano. Buquete moving without the basketball. Cauley trying to stay in front of her. Nice pass by Buquete. Counted and the foul. Gentinetta will go to the line for one more. It was a delayed call by the official there. The and ones will send Gentinetta to the line.
Starts with a great feat on that 45. Watch it right here, the slip. It's a tough finish. No balance, it's tough. Great focus. Maybe the brightest spot, I'd say, right now for Argentina is just seeing Gentinetta really thrive.
Yeah, Candela Gentinetta, as we mentioned, one of the youngest players on that 2022 senior national team that played in the South American Championships. She played alongside Chagas for Obras this past season. And now getting an opportunity to compete at the national team level. Sammy Hill blowing by everyone, counted in the foul.
That's a pretty solid response, isn't it? Big and one, I'll give you one myself. You mentioned it before, Sammy Hill's had to switch her role. She's a plug and play, but it's gotten her opportunities to play at the highest of levels, to embrace that type. And when you look at this lineup, right, I mean, she is one of the more seasoned and experienced players, and she takes that on with a tough attack and a completion of the three-point play.
Played in Spain this past season, averaged 11 points per contest, just under 3 rebounds. When you have someone like that, it should help you when your chemistry as a teammate. I'm just happy to see them succeed in any role that they're in. Siciliano with the shot clock winding down, tees up the 3 over Alexander, can't get it to go. Ball up for grabs, bodies on the deck. It's going to be a jump ball, and it's going to be Canada's basketball.
What a unique opportunity for Silas Swartz, by the way, in college at the University of Michigan. On that coaching staff, Nalia Chanwell, one of the Canada basketball legends. So actually, Canada basketball is probably, out of all the parties involved, really happy with that, because you've got someone in your ear constantly that's going to be able to pour into this type of experience. And
meanwhile, on the floor, Sammy Hill and Martinez are battling for a loose ball. And Martinez claiming she got hit on the side of the head. Slow to get up. Back into live action. She's standing and she's okay. And Hill checking on her to make sure she's fine.
The two players that definitely got tied up with their arms.
That might be it. Martinez is still pointing to her forehead here in front of us, saying she has a welt.
That would be a fine in other leagues. Okay.
And the reason for the whistle, Marissa Russell is tying her right shoe. So we'll wait for that to happen and then resume play. Russell's good, thumbs up. And Martinez does have a knot on her head though. And she fouls Hill and smiles about it. It's the 13th foul for Argentina. I don't think it's going to be the last in this quarter with 3:55 remaining.
And this is where Sammy Hill has to show her experience and just maintain her composure and keep playing. Definitely not disputing that there was contact. It certainly wasn't in what we saw.
Here's Russell. A lot of contact there as Russell hits the deck. No whistle blown. There's the jump ball. And it's going to be Argentina basketball as Russell has a look on her face like, are you kidding me? And you're right. This is time for Canada to show some composure here.
You're playing against a team that has to play tough, that has to play scrappy. That's what they're going to do. They're going to do it the entire time. Pretty frustrated. So two hands, strong hands on the ball at all times right now for Team Canada.
Siciliano crossing over. She's going to get the return pass and attack again on Becker. Mongo for 3, in and out. And Cauley will vacuum it in. Becker lost it. She was thinking about a layup opportunity there. Wallach will check back into the game. She'll replace Kale Alexander, whose night is likely done.
And another game 2 for Canada, were complete balance. They're playing everybody. And at some point in this game, everybody has done something really positive for their team.
Wallach's the only one who has entered the game who hasn't scored yet.
And she led the team in scoring yesterday.
She did, at 11 points. Shot the ball well from 3-point range. Another turnover here for Argentina. Well, if you're Nell Fortner, you should be happy with your performance so far through 2 games of this AmeriCup. It's going to get a lot tougher the rest of the way here. They'll play Brazil, Canada, tomorrow, and then they'll have the off day, surprisingly, on Canada Day on July 1st, and then get right back to action and wait for the knockout stage if they're able to make it through. But through 2 games, I'm sure Nell and her coaching staff, very impressed with what they've seen.
the biggest thing to me is they've shown that they're sticking together. When games get a little bit, there's adversity, they're figuring it out together as a group, and you're always going to be in those games, I think, if you do that.
The best way to get a team together is have some adversity. Gentinetta rejected there by Wallach. Wallach averaging just under 2 blocks a game this past season in the NCAA, playing at Washington State. He got all of that one. The molten basketball, right? Here's Gibb checking into the game. And we'll get a timeout, Argentina's final timeout of the game, with 2:17 here remaining in the fourth. Canada up 67-46 over Argentina.
And now it's your chance for Canada to execute, to draw some stuff out, to expect a younger group out there. By the way, to show coach you can find the shots she wants, you can run the schemes that she's going to ask for.
Well, Argentina won't get the win in this one, but they have shown signs through 2 games that a win is in their future at some point. They just got to put an entire game together. There's been quarters, it's been spurts, but they just haven't been able to put a complete game together so far. Third game against Brazil, excuse me, the third quarter against Brazil was probably their bright spot in game number 1. At the start of the third quarter here, it's probably their bright spot once again.
And they'll get that opportunity very quickly. First game tomorrow against the Dominican Republic, who we saw earlier. That'll be interesting because 2 teams, I think they're going to be upset. Argentina's going to be upset, and Dominican got away with one today. I thought they won the game, but I thought El Salvador actually were the more worthy of winning team. And so I think the Dominicans got something to prove to themselves. They got the win, that's great, but if you watch that game, you watch the body language of the whole team. They didn't play to their standards. I'm expecting a fight bright and early.
Yeah.
Breakfast television at its best.
Breakfast basketball, you gotta love it. Becker with a swat. 7-shoot for Argentina. So Wallach coming over with a block, and then Becker. Argentina struggling on this possession, and an offensive foul is going to be called on Siciliano as she shoved Gibb. Well, it's been a long game for Coach Martinez, who picked up a technical foul in that first half. And might have played in this group play the 2 toughest teams in Group A back-to-back in Brazil and Canada.
Yeah, that's part of their conversation. They need to kind of remind themselves that too. Point differential matters. And so when you look at those remaining 2 games, competing tough, competing hard, wow, hard fall there from Becker. She's up and smiling, so that's good.
You didn't see it in camera shot, but there's not much there to protect the drop that she just took, falling off the floor. Good to see her bounce back up and smile on the way back on defense. But you're right, Amy, it's easy to forget. You played the 2 toughest teams in your group, but it might be the 2 toughest teams in your competition. And you kind of got that out of their way. You could kind of wash yourself and now say, all right, we have everything in front of us now. Just go out and play our game.
Yeah, and there's something that's telling me that we just haven't seen the fullest version of this Argentina team. It's early yet, but if they can manage to get out of the pool,
that'd be tough.
Yeah, it would be. I think it would be you get a fun team.
They lost to Canada in the quarterfinals in the 2023 AmeriCup, and that was an 8-point game. Becker comes up with a theft that time. Minute 22 remaining in the game as Cauley dribbles in the front court. Wayne and Gibb has it. Wallach. So much youth on the floor for Canada. And Wallach getting to the rim. Everyone that stepped into the game for Canada has now scored.
That was the Day Wilson finish.
Sure was. The no-look layup.
Beautiful.
Ciliano fought him up 3. Becker was in front of her. Becker doing a great job of moving her feet that time to stay in front of Ciliano. Here's Martinez, gave it away to Gibb. Gibb with numbers. And she's called, they're gonna call a tie-up. So jump ball. It's Canada basketball as possession arrow in their favor, so we'll stay here. Canada will have to shoot the basketball here with 19 seconds on the shot clock. As we mentioned, point differential matters. As Gibb spins to the lane, Becker there to clean it up.
It was excellent second effort, but you kind of wanted Gibb to finish that. That was a quick spin.
It was.
It was pretty.
Now Gibb defending. Mongo able to step through and get the kind roll. So the shot clock unplugged here. Let's see if Canada takes a look or runs a set. And Nell Fortner says no shot. So Canada will let the clock tick down here and pick up their second win here in Santiago, Chile, as they defeat Argentina 71-48 to stay at top of Group A.
Another professional win too, right? Just coming in, competing hard. I think the expectation from them was that it was going to be a tougher game. It certainly was, particularly in that first quarter. First half, I'd say, was pretty intense, but they just executed, especially when they needed to, and able to build a lead, maintain the lead, and eventually extend out the lead.
Everyone stepping on the floor for Canada except for Emily Potter. She sat this one out. And everyone getting onto the score sheet. And Team Canada clapping some of the fans that have made the trip down here to Santiago, Chile. Not a short trip to make, by the way. A lot of commitment here. And you see some Maple Leafs in the crowd. Good to see, as Nell Fortner and her crew will be able to celebrate and get to 2-0 here in Group A. You see the stats on your screen from this basketball game. A lot for Canada to be happy about, except for that last stat right there. The turnovers, 15. You know Fortner is going to talk about that.
When you're playing fast and you're playing a chippy fast team, sometimes that gets away from you, but the board's super impressive. 66 yesterday, 49 today, almost another 50-plus point board game. And as these teams settle in, when you're scouting Canada, that's got to be top priority against this Canadian team. Figure out a way to stay in the battle on the boards.
2 games we've seen from Group A here today. A 2-point win for the Dominican Republic over El Salvador. And Canada coming away with a 71-48 victory over Argentina. So Canada now sits at the top of Group A with a 2-0 record, and they have the point differential on their side. Brazil 1-0 in the group, as is the Dominican Republic. And Argentina 0-2, El Salvador 0-2. They'll see each other at some point here in group play. Some of the best plays from today's game, as Canada with another big victory in this one. Canada's next game will come on Monday, June 30th against Brazil, with a 2:10 local time tip. And that's the Eastern time zone. The next game for Argentina, as Amy mentioned, will come against the Dominican Republic Monday morning, 11:40 tip. For both those teams, they're looking to get a victory, keep themselves alive here in Group A action.
That's a huge one for Canada tomorrow. Both teams, Brazil and Canada, coming in. So expectation to get out of their pool, and both had a really good early showing in this tournament. And so that mentality, because Monday, that's tomorrow,
yep,
snaps into all eyes, all focus on Brazil.
And Brazil coming in off an off day as well. Canada will be playing their 3rd straight game, 3 back-to-back games for Team Canada. But they are in the win column once again. Is Team Canada's 71-48 victory over Argentina. Here it is, Group A standings up to date now. It's Canada 2-0 at the top of the group. Brazil and the Dominican Republic both at 1-0. Argentina 0-2. El Salvador 0-2, and in jeopardy of being eliminated after pool play. Well, for Amy Audibert, I'm Carlin Gay. Thanks for joining us wherever you are, however you are doing so. Canada once again with a victory here in Santiago, Chile, 71-48, as they move to 2-0 and sit atop of Group A.